It's the People's Podcast Show with Adrian Biddle, Melissa Bartlett, and your boy Kerry Bixby. It's your show, so tell us what you want to talk about. It's that The Round Table Podcast Show.
Keep letting it play. Keep letting it play.
Yeah, that's that vibe right there, man.
Yeah.
That was the vibe, man. Let me tell you. I almost tempted to do it again, but like they say, when you got a classic, you don't want to remake it. You don't want to remix. No.
Yeah, that thing holds up. It'll hold up.
Yeah. We might need to do some new photo shoots. Hey, any photographers out there want to do a photo shoot for that Roundtable Podcast Show? That'd be pretty cool. Listen, go ahead and rock that illustrious wet wave that's going on up here.
Stop. It is bad today. Family, please forgive me. Forgive my appearance. It's just been one of those days.
You chilling. You're chilling. We all chilling. If y'all don't know, it's that Roundtable Podcast Show. The dynamic diva that just spoke those delectitudes to you is Miss Pitbull in the dress, Melissa Bartlett.
What's going on? Happy Wednesday, Hump Day, podcast, broadcast day. It was one of those where you feel like, am I being punked today? And then I see what our topic is. So I can't wait to get into it. I cannot wait. And we were missing him last show, but we are happy that our brother A Money is here with us.
Yeah.
And I'm going to behave and be nice, family, to A Money, my brother. I'm going to give him some grace. So, hi, A Money. Hey,
man, I appreciate the introduction. We all know that that's only going to last for about 5 or 10 minutes into the show, and then it's all going to bust loose. I've heard that one before. And last but not least, the man that stirs the drink, the conductor himself, Mr. Culture, CD.
What's going on, family? Yes, indeed. Hey, we were talking before we came on, guys, family, and it is something. Boy, today has been a definite hump day for many of us. And I'll be honest with you, I did not have a clue that by dropping this topic today's show was going to garner us literally living it before coming on board. It is something. But it must be the cosmic forces that are out here right now that is saying, hey, somebody needs to hear this topic today. So hey, today's topic, if you don't see it, you don't understand it down below as it's running on this ticker, it is negativity and how do you handle it?
Negativity and how do you handle it?
Yeah, bro, because let me tell you, many of us handle negativity in our own unique way. And we want to hear how you do it. That's all. That is all. Matter of fact, we don't even have professionals that are here. We just gonna share, and maybe each one of us can gain something out of the wisdom that our followers, our family, each other is about to drop this evening.
Yeah, that's gonna be a barn burner right there. That's a good one. Because it's different forms of negativity. I guess it could be person to person, what you see on social media, TV. I guess I can start it off. This isn't being braggadocious in any kind of way because I'm gonna bring it full circle. Something inherent in me was given through the gift from God, where dealing with people that's negative minded or hard to deal with,
Mhm.
I could take it and just encompass it within myself and not let it show, and try to find a bright spot in whatever conversation we may be having. And I've been doing good with that pretty good with it for the last 35 plus years. But you know what? It's hard to get a little older now, and I don't know what it is. It's almost like how you were saying it, a week or two ago about your emotional bank needs to be filled.
Right.
When it starts to get depleted,
Mm-hmm.
Running low, things start to change a little bit, and I can kind of encompass that with what I'm about to say with this. I have a hard time dealing with negative people now. I say sometimes I say the first thing that's in my head that normally I'll be able to hold back. I don't know whether that's due to old age, but it feels good getting it off the chest, though. I will say that. I will say that.
Hey, go ahead, sure. Hey, good Pitbull, go ahead and do your thing. I know you about to get in it because whoo.
Listen, I am just going to echo A Money to start. And then when we start breaking it down, the different types of negativity, we can get into it deeper.
Right.
For me, at this point in my life, I tell you guys, I'm an advocate for therapy. I am a therapy kid, therapy woman.
Mm-hmm.
I remove myself, or I remove negativity from around me, if possible. I'm right with A Money, and I am very direct. I've learned to mature me from being blunt and not caring about it being hurtful, to still speak and stand in my truth. But my delivery be so direct that there's no like, well, what did she mean? And that, you know exactly what I mean, and you know exactly how I'm delivering it to you. Mm-hmm. So I'm times two with that, as far as like, if something is making me feel uncomfortable and I feel like it's starting because when you're positive, guys, do y'all feel like when you're around something negative or around negative people, like it feels like it's something rubbing the wrong way inside of you? Like that's how it feels with me. And so when I get that feeling, I'll be like, if it's something where I feel the whole atmosphere is negative, then yeah, I'm going to remove myself.
Yeah.
But if I just kind of feel like there's a person or an event or something that's happening then I just kind of remove myself from that area or that person. But I'm with you, and I am happy to reach this age of privilege to speak what's on my mind. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's well deserved and earned.
Yes.
When it gets to that good age. There go Charlie Tools, y'all.
Hey, Charlie.
Good to see you, sis. Sis, tonight's topic, and I know we're going to get a lot of wisdom from you. Absolutely. We're talking about negativity and how do you handle it. Share it. Please share this. We want to hear from everybody on this one right here. And you know what? I'm with you on that. And I know we're about to get into the different ones, but I can honestly say that as I've gotten older, when it comes to things that I kind of was passive in my, it's that certain age, when you were in your early 20s, you was like, you rambunctious somewhat or a little hot-headed per se. And then when you go from the 20s to your 30s and 40s, you're on that chill mode. You like, I got a little wisdom under my belt. I've accomplished some things. Hey, I'm gonna let it slide. But hey, truth be told, when I hit 50, it was totally a change. Even, oh my goodness, it was to a point in which, when you, well, like you said, Mel, with me, when negativity comes around me, I can't be around it. It actually pulls. It's like a magnet. It pulls, and I tell my wife this a lot of times, and trying to be funny, but it pulls KK out. Yeah, it pulls KK out, and I don't want that. I told I worked too hard to let KK retire and be carry and be all about positive energy and love and how we can help our fellow man and each other and things. But then when you get around certain people and it seems like they relish in negativity, it's like they just put it on like a good old warm coat and they gonna walk around, they want to show it and stuff, and they want you to, hey, dust my coat off on me and stuff and everything. No, I'd be like, and I have to pray a silent prayer and try to get away before KK come out. And I don't know what I think when you hit 50, you deserve to be as blunt and direct and can say what's on your mind. Bad kids running around, get your kids, all that stuff. Just I tell you,
I actually have more tolerance for the babies now. Usually I'm like, oh, bad they kids, like get them kids out. But now I'm just like, oh, bless their heart. They can't help it. Their parents suck. Bless their heart.
It's totally different. When I was in the urgent care the other day, it was this one little child, and I held my peace because, and I said a prayer while I was sitting there because I was already.
Hey, money, you fight kids. Go sit down.
Boy, I mean, I don't know. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. He in the urgent care like this.
The Lord's serenity. That serenity prayer.
Like that, boy, I'm telling you. Well, Charlie Toots did a good. She said, I don't handle it toward me unwarranted. However, as an empathic person, it is a struggle. I like my BFF is perceived the way initially, but hey, your perceptions is not my reality. My GAF is broke and my filter left in heaven. I told you to drop that wisdom. Did I not say that?
Her GAF is broke.
It is broke.
She is all out. She's all out, giving all out.
No repairman needed.
Yeah, I think God give you a limited amount of being able to deal with certain stuff like that, and I'm still, I'm still trying to show patience the best way I can individually when dealing with stuff like that. It shows on my face first. My wife always points it out. She said, "Adrian, why are you looking like that?" she could already see it coming a mile away. And then I had to
hate my face. I hate when my face don't want to use its inside voice. My face don't want to use its inside voice. Like I hate that. I'll try to talk. Hey, we're gonna keep it here. Nope, my face be like, nope. I'm saying it all out loud right now.
It's already like 10 or 20 feet ahead of you.
Like you stay back there. I got this. And I'm gonna tell you, Charlie Too said 0. Oh my goodness, she said 0.
And when we say spare, we ain't talking about bowling. I mean nothing. Okay, at all, none.
No chance.
When you blow across the bottle that they was in, it go nothing.
That's empty. My
Man,
face stay outside on the front street with my mic and amp.
Everybody know.
Yes.
So what kind? Okay, so y'all, since we're talking, we already have established the parameters. People, if y'all are listening, that you're gonna know on our faces and stuff how negativity is. But what type of negativity? What kind? I guess it could be a twofold question. What types of negativity really irk you, or what types of negativity you like Charlie said 0. What? Let's talk about some of them.
I think personal negativity, like intentional negativity, I have no tolerance for. I I love hard. So anybody who I hold in my heart, if they have a negative attitude towards me or something that I've done, and because we have not spoken, I hold you, in my heart. I expect for you to be like, yo, I wasn't feeling this, or I don't like this. So if you don't do that, that I have zero tolerance for it. And at this point in my life, I can say I've learned to not react, but to respond. Everything does not have to be 911 critical when it happens. It is necessary at times, but for the most part, you can take time to assess before you respond. But we like to react, meaning there's no type of assessment, there's no type of filter, there's no type of anything. And again, that happens. Not going to act like it doesn't. But in this point in my life, I'm glad that I have learned and matured into making sure that my response is heard versus my reaction.
So I'm not trying to avoid what you're saying, CD. I got a different twist with this, and let me see.
Okay.
And it may kind of pull to where you were going with this.
Okay.
Is a person being negative quite possibly a lack of coping skills?
Whoa. Whoa.
That one just hit me that one just hit me all in the feels. I just thought about that.
That's profound right there.
That is, and it's pretty accurate, because most of the time, if you feel like your back is against the wall or you're being pigeonholed, you're I think everybody hits negative first.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you do have something else in you, it changes you to, maybe not quite optimistic, but at least willing to try to, see what else can be done. Or you might be in fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
But so if they have a lack of coping skills, possibly, and that's what makes them negative, what makes them stay there? Like, that's even.
It's a good question.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the wheels turning just now.
Yeah, they turn, because because if they don't have the coping skills, that means no one has really made them aware of that nuance in their life. Basically they don't know how to cope, or no one has tried to assist them. So probably over time they've gotten comfortable. It becomes like, again, it's like, second skin to them. Hey, this is just how this is how I am. If you don't like it, hey, and then it just further enhances that negativity that they, got. But that's deep though. Hey, money. See, when you see what happened when money come in, he drops that.
All cylinders. Pow, 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 pow.
Silly. Yeah, silly.
I have a question, guys. So this money just triggered a memory for me. Again, being in pain, not having coping skills, not having resources to process it. I was negative, really negative, even though I try to display the happy, bubbly, go lucky, jokey person. And I said something and was like, it just spat out, boom. And my cousin was like, instead of thinking of it that way in saying those words, well, I want you to take a thought of it like this. And maybe if you say this and kind of talk it out from this angle, you will see that it's really not what you feel. And I was like, what? Really? So I had to go home on it. You know me, I got to go chew on it. If I wake up and it's in my belly, that means something to it. And I said, God, I said, help me to not be negative, which is something that I pride myself on not being, but I had become so good at fronting that I wasn't, that I didn't address the negativity. And my cousin pretty much called me out on it. Like, so I think sometimes when those people stay there, they don't have anybody who approaches them in a constructive way. They just have somebody meet them where they are.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Oh, that's good.
Charlie talks about the pessimistic. Oh, yeah. I think we all have had experience with a pessimistic personality.
Yeah. That drives me crazy.
That's my get out the room individual.
Yeah.
before something is said wrong or whatever sort. Because it's like with somebody who's pessimistic, everybody, you could walk in someplace and everybody around say, "Oh, that's a dope outfit" or whatever. So, and they'll find one thing, a big old piece of lint on the back of your neck.
Or I think I saw somebody with something else like that on. It was a different color though.
Yeah, gotta kind of soften the jab. It's like you still hit me, but you want to soften the jab.
Oh my God. What about the negative people who always got something to say, but they try to like wrap it up in a joke, but they really throwing jabs at you?
Oh, I'm telling you, you gotta get out the room, boy. You gotta get out the room on those individuals. And it's interesting because it's like when they do it, it makes you wonder, okay, so you intentionally said that and you try to wrap it up in a joke or make it a real pretty, put a bow on it and blah, 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 blah. But what was your intent? Did it make you feel good that you can say something like that? Was it for your self-gratification? You know, that you can sit up there and it's always, I don't understand. It's like, you know, if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. So why would you say something that is so negative and try to wrap it up all pretty with a bow and everything and open it up, confetti, boom, here go the negativity? What? It takes too much energy to even do that. And why?
I was just about to say, I would find it hard getting out of bed being like that every day.
But some people do, man. Some people like relish it. Charlie said, "I don't think I'm negative. However, realistic is often confused by those seeking to control me. Best of luck to them." Backhanded comments or confusing tough love and humor with unintentional harm, still BS.
And I was very guilty of that because I was raised in a family that's kind of how we communicate. You know, one of my family members started dating this guy and he got into some trouble, like literally right after she introduced him at a family function. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you know, it spreads the family chat line and he got in trouble. He wound up getting arrested, but it wasn't nothing major where he had to do time. So, you know, my family member shows up to something else. So it was this kind of happenstances where everybody drops that by the one aunt's house or something like that. And the first thing out of my uncle's mouth is, "Oh, I was about to say I was going to have to make sure if you had that whatever with you, I thought I was going to have to go get my gun because I don't know what are you going to do. You by yourself." So I guess he ain't out yet. Meanwhile, he was out, but he had to work. So we all like, ha, 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 you know. But at the same time, not thinking that is very, like she was, first of all, embarrassed that she had just met, like he was on the news and everything. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just took him to my family's event function and then he winds up being on the news. And then she really liked the guy, so she's concerned. Like you come into your family for an embrace and then you get that backhanded humor, you know, but it's still a negative spin, even though you're trying to make it funny. And because we grew up that way and our family, you know, operated that way, it wasn't until like our children started saying that ain't cool. Like that wasn't necessary. Like to make you have a different perception of that may not need to say that, or that might not have been something that needed to be said in a room. Like, you know, it shouldn't have been said, but if you was gonna say it, you should have probably just said it to her to the side, not knock on the door as soon as she walks in. It's like boom, unload, bam, 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 joke after joke, and it literally was beating her down.
Again, it make you wonder, like, you know, what is their purpose for doing that? Did they have to be in the star of the show, all garner all this attention, trying to call somebody out? Did it make them feel good? Like they driving home or whatever? So yeah.
Sometimes it's not even about a selfish need or fulfillment. It's just a lack of knowing. It's just the ignorance.
Charlie too. She said
they don't know it's harmful because it's generational upbringing. I know because they birthed and raised me. It's family like VBFF is speaking of. Yeah, like we just didn't know better. Now that we do know better, it is great to see though, Charlie, that some of my aunts, uncles, you know, greats, that they are taking on that new communication style.
That's true. I can see you being raised like that. Not directly, Melissa, but I can see you being. When I say you, I mean.
Yeah, but no, you're fine with the directness. Absolutely, we are a family of comedians. That's what we do. I mean, Tyler Perry has nothing on my real life family, ever. But at the same time, there's a lot of issues that may come up that isn't necessarily need to be talked about.
Right.
And because it makes you uncomfortable, don't mean that you need to make a joke about it either.
And shoot, I learned early about that. I think I told y'all this one time before, and it really shaped me too, as far as how you interact with people and how you never know what somebody is going through. I remember fifth grade. You remember, and I'm just speaking how I came up. We all used to play the dozens, crack on each other, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It was one day that this one of my fellow classmates, she had on, I think she didn't have her hair done that day, and everybody was messing with her, and I think I threw one out too. And the next thing you know, she went running out the class crying. And it comes to find out later on, after the teacher went to see what was going on with her, her dad had just recently had a severe heart attack and was in the hospital. So I say that to say this. Again, you never know what somebody is going through. And my fifth grade teacher, Miss Howard, when I told you she laid into us, and that was truly a life lesson, I still carry that today. It's cringeworthy thinking back on it now, but sometimes if you don't know, bringing it back full circle to what Melissa was talking about, if you don't know, then until it's actually addressed or somebody brings it to your attention, you can consider it being normal.
Yeah.
Seeing the change is good, but when they don't choose to stay that way, just know you can't impede my growth or pivot into positivity. Yeah, this is true. And this is where that maturity comes in. Being comfortable where you are, loving the skin you're in, living, in your truth. That's where all of that comes into, because you're going to have people that are not going to be acceptable, like accepting the new you, the new version of you, the improved version of you, your ways, how you communicate, your behaviors. You got people that are just not going to accept it. They're going to try to discourage you. They're going to try to talk about you. But I realized too, my being who I am makes you uncomfortable, but I'm not changing who I am for your level of comfortable. Like you can't be stuck in the past or doing things wrong or doing things to like not the fullness of your life, the best you, and then think that I'm going to stay mediocre to make you feel comfortable. Like that's just not how it works. And I think when you get to that point and you start to elevate, these are the relationships that God makes, you know, say, hey, you need to be okay that this person might not be with you on your next journey.
Artu said, I was born and raised in Wisher Woods. So I am who I am. I tell you, these are worthy of t-shirts and billboards. Dropping tonight. I'm telling you. She is dropping them.
Established 1975.
I might have to plan a vacation there.
For real. I knew it. I said, hey, the floodgates are open, boy. Y'all better get ready for the waves. Boy, I'm telling you, she is dropping them.
So
what about when your negativity is emotional?
Oh gosh.
Like you have, and a lot of times people don't want to admit this. You're in a relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but you're in a relationship.
Yep.
And I literally was just watching something on Netflix while I was finishing work, and then the husband is so negative because he's so unhappy. And the wife is a famous chef, so she had her first photo shoot for her book. So she's showing pictures to their friend circle. They're at a cookout pool party, and so her friend is like, "Oh my God, look at you! Like you look so beautiful! Like oh my goodness, look at your legs!" So she starts saying they were photoshopping this, that, and the other, blah blah blah, whatever. He comes behind her and says, "That's the best picture. Thank God for Photoshop. You look beautiful."
So you done wrapped it up in a bow.
Wow. Who said, like, can you imagine having your partner, this person who's supposed to be the love of your life and they're like negative emotionally with you, like they can't pay you a compliment. If you say yay, they say nay, just because, without even knowing what you're saying. I couldn't imagine having that type of emotional negativity every day and having to deal with it.
Yeah. That Charlie said, I have it on a T. Okay. She said emotional negativity is tricky because it's often a lack of emotional awareness and growth. Yes. And to kind of piggyback off of that, and we see it a lot of times, y'all, with relationships and stuff, in which you've got that one individual who is really pouring out a lot of themselves to fend off the negativity that their either significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, or whatever sort. It's almost as though like a fireman trying to put out a fire.
I like firemen.
See, that wasn't even negative. That was a positive, wasn't it, man?
That was very positive.
But yeah, I mean, it's like a constant battle, and it's unfortunate because eventually, it seems like the person who is constantly fighting against it is the one who wears out quicker than the person who's doing the negativity. And that's where it goes back to get out of the room, get away from them and stuff, because I'm telling you, it could actually seep into your spirit. And then eventually you unconsciously be exuding negativity to other people. And they're like,
because I can't see you having a battle on both fronts. And when I mean both fronts, I mean at home and out here in this world.
Yep. It will cause you to go crazy, A-Money. Because you don't have a place of peace. You don't have a place of serenity. You don't have a place to exhale. at all. And I'll add this to you, talking about the battle on both fronts, A Money. It literally starts changing who you are, because you have to constantly stay in defense mode.
Yeah.
So now, not only are you negative, but you're defensive.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And then you actually take that out on the very individuals that actually help sow into you positively. So then it's almost as though it's a chain of events. Here you are positive. You got somebody who's negative in your life. They're slowly but surely changing you. You're fighting the world. Then you start taking out your frustrations on the very people that love you and want to be with you. So therefore now that adds even more negativity to you, because now they want to distance themselves from you or not confide in you. I mean, it's that's why I said when it comes to negative people, I've learned if you family, friends, or whatever, so I can love you from afar, but I cannot allow you to change my dynamic to suit your need to be in such a lowly place. I can't do it. And I think if more of us have that time, and a lot of times we stay in it, unfortunately, because we think we can change them. Sometimes a good prayer from far away works just as effectively as you sitting in there and you're constantly battling against this individual.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
He always says that. That's very poignant. She's a feral human being. He said, I was raised by that VBFF, why I am a feral human being. Why I choose my career path, because I want to help others become better, not bitter, along with me. I battle on both, but I process it differently because it is, are you a warrior or a killer? I know she getting deep metaphysical and stuff now.
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Yeah. Meaning we are all in the war fighting. I choose to be a warrior for the better, not just a bitter killer. Getting got from taking folks out. Sun Tzu, Art of War. Boy.
I love an intelligent black woman. Woohoo!
Just so well rounded.
So well rounded.
I'm telling you, she is amazing.
So well rounded, so diverse.
Hey, Terry.
Terry joined us on At the Round Table. What's going on?
Oh man. So how do you all handle it in the workplace?
Listen to Fred Hammond. Jesus, be a fence all around me every day.
I know that's right. Yeah, sometimes you gotta, and that, you know what? Ironically, you saying that, sis, I'm glad you even said that, because here's the thing: when you're an individual that doesn't want to deal with negativity, and other people seem like they foster it. You go into the office and it's the water cooler discussions about so and so and this and that, or how they don't like the job and all that other stuff. A maturing, evolving individual will say, let me go get my tools that I need to keep me from being a part of that. Whether it be the gospel music, whether it be shutting the door, whether it be putting positive influences in your office or whatever. So when they come in, they automatically are hit with it. Bam. Right. Don't bring that up in here.
Right.
Because it's that battle on two different fronts. And a lot of times, we fight these wars every single day, and we can get it from our boss, we can get it from our coworkers. Hey, we can get it from somebody who we get on the elevator with them and they just letting it out, permeating negativity. Customers. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about if you're in the food service business, or if you're in customer service, or whatever the case, that's another one. Go in the store and you're dealing with customer service and they act nasty. Oh,
and let me add, since this video went viral of the substitute teacher, and I had a lot of people hit me up because I used to sub in CMS. When you have what's the word I want to use here? A restraining like outlook on, like, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with this in a very unique way because there's restraints in whether it be the place, whether it be the person that you're dealing with. You can't really do what you would ordinarily do, or you can't really, rely on your tools that you have to pull out something else. So you might have to use something differently. The teachers, the subs, they're not dealing with your child. They're not giving them the opportunity to become too close, too personal, within my personal space. They're not giving these kids that opportunity to even get there because of things that happened, like that was on that video. Dealing with children is extremely difficult when the child is, executing very negative behaviors. It's very, very, very hard because you have to, if you care, you have to make sure that the experience that they have with you ultimately is a learning one.
Right.
So if they're already coming from a place where they don't respect the parents or they don't respect adult authority, then you meet them where they are. What is the point of you changing that child, or at least planting a seed that could eventually grow into something else? That is my own personal goal, is that whoever I interact with, but especially children, I want to be able to make sure that the experience with them is a memorable one of positivity, and hopefully they can learn something. And so the vibes, I believe in energy. You got to make sure your energy is right. Because sometimes just the sheer subtleness that you are at peace disrupts their unpeaceful spirit and makes them want to try you. That's also something that happens. You're at peace, but because they're negative, your peace, your aura, your energy is disrupting them. So now they feel like they got to fight.
I'm gonna be that old man that's saying, "Get off my grass." And you may not agree with this, and you all may not agree with it either. But the worst thing, and I've mentioned this before, I hate to keep bringing up stuff in the past. The worst thing that they could have done is actually take out paddling out of school. And the only reason why I say that is because if some of these parents aren't guiding their children to respect authority, I'm talking about at a young age, because if you're not, when you at a young age and you don't understand authority and you continue to grow up, you pretty much are setting out or sending out a ticking time bomb at any given time. I think it's important, if the parents aren't doing it, then to a certain extent, the school may have to, or either you have to give the school a little bit of leeway to do so. And it doesn't necessarily mean spanking altogether, but as far as just bending over backwards and letting children pretty much do what they want to do, then I have a problem with that. Whether it's suspensions, where it is ISS, you can build up towards it and just let that child know that, no, this is unacceptable. These are the parameters that you got to work in. And if you refuse to work within those parameters, then we're going to escalate it to this next level. You continue to do it again, we're going to escalate it to this next level. What I think may be going on is that right now, nobody want to deal with the parents. Nobody want to deal with the students. And they just want to continue to let them go on the destructive paths that is going to end up, you're raising these people who come back and shoot up schools later on. You're raising these people to go out and rob banks don't have any respect for their elders because they don't have the constructive knowledge of what that means when they're learning as a young person.
No boundaries. This is a sidebar, and I'm just gonna put it out there. This whole gentle parenting thing is a bunch of caca.
Hold that thought, because we got comments coming in. That's a good one, Mel. Oh my goodness. And A Money dropping that wisdom. So y'all apologize. I'm trying to get everybody in.
Oh, you good.
Terry said, I struggle with negativity and not just shutting down. It depends on who it's coming from. Charlie Toot said, I am me at home and in the streets. Yeah. Charlie be dropping the platitudes. She said that substitute teacher incident was a few teachable moments. That child might have caught my hands too because she was too uncomfortable in the wrong place. Meaning she was uncomfortable in fighting for position, and fighting was all she knows until she was overpowered and reminded that she can't tangle with all adults or anyone. She becomes meek and wanted to be rescued. There's more trauma work than they all needed. Yeah.
But I'm glad that I'm not glad that it happened, but I'm glad that it happened because a lot of people shy back, not because they scared, but again, because of that, having that restraint on what you would want to do or whatever. And she caught the right one.
She caught the right one, baby.
She caught the right one.
Terry said, I have absolutely no problem with what transpired with that student, but she won't put her hands on the teacher. The real world doesn't care if you're only 16. You step to someone like you've grown, you get grown consequences.
Yep. I don't like gentle parenting.
Yeah.
That word right there. Consequences.
Well, here's the thing, though, because it's not only just with the gentle parenting, but it's also the parenting that undermines. There's two different, if we look at it, there's two different levels. Okay, so we all know the parenting that undermines is this. There are teachers and individuals that try to instruct our young people daily, and when they do, they hope they are planting that seed like Mel just mentioned, okay? And what happens is that child may go home with it, and then they go home to an atmosphere that diminishes, if not tears that seed out of the ground. It will undermine every single thing, every positive thing that young child or young person have gotten from other peers or other individuals. It undermines them. I remember coaching one time, and I remember how just after coaching, the mom who dropped off 4 of her babies to the football practice, she immediately thought that they had did something negative or wrong, and she was ready to chew them out in front of us, the coaches. And I was like, no, ma'am, they did a wonderful job. So here I am, I'm trying to pour into them, and the other coaches are doing the same thing, but nevertheless, her first inclination was something negative. So it undermines everything that the other people are trying to do for your children. I'm hoping some parents out here listening or whatever, there are some good people out here trying to do things good for your child. Don't diminish that, okay? Second thing is that gentle stuff. We were just talking about that not too long ago, my wife and I, about some parents who want to gentle parent. Oh, well, don't do that. Stop. Don't do that. And want to have the Dr. Spock method is basically what
conversations. So I don't understand. Is it important for you to have the red ball? That's why you threw the other ball. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You better stop throwing, period. Like, what is all this coming from?
Yeah, to allow children, and I've heard this many a time from parents in which they says, oh, well, they're discovering their uniqueness and their own personality, and I don't want to stop that. No. If you allow children to go untethered, to allow them to do things that they want to do without any type of course correction, you start getting those children that feel entitled. You can start getting those children who feel as though they can do whatever and there's going to be no repercussions whatsoever. And then those are the ones that we start seeing on the news who are running out here and beating old ladies, who are trying to jump on teachers, who are trying to go out here and just, I'm going to talk dad into getting me this gun that I really like, and then I'm going to prepare for war. Those are the situations that will happen if we don't spend time with our children and give them some sort of instruction and start pouring positivity into them. And I don't mean positivity like always buying them stuff or whatever, but speaking to them, chastising them when they need to be chastised, instructing them, and then giving them praise when they do a good job.
Yeah, all of that, and hashtag bring back paddling.
Hey, you know what? But it's interesting because that's like a kind of, if you think about it, it did work. But then if you think about today's society,
yeah, today's society, yeah,
you get that.
But you gotta understand. This is a cocktail. This isn't just one thing. We as that generation who grew up with paddling in the schools, we also had the reinforcements at home, as Carrie pointed out. There had to be some type of a consistency that was given to us, that was shown to us. So when you talk to your friends, there might have been one that was like telling their mom, I don't feel like dealing with it, and shutting the door. But the majority of your friends, the majority of your peers, you kind of had the same rules. There was a little difference between this and the other, but you kind of had the same upbringings, the same rules. Now you got Jack that got two dads. You got Jenny that got a mom who deliberately is high at soccer practice. Nobody's with them. You have all these different dynamics in a household. And I'm not saying that one parent is better than the other, but when the child is starting to show that there's a difference, you got all of the social media look, brands, appeal, and you're not giving your child what they need to actually function in this world. Because when they get to work, they got rules. You're supposed to be here at 4 and you're supposed to leave at 9. Not show up at 4:45 or 5:30 and then get mad because you got to stay later, or you're not getting paid because you wasn't here at 4 o'clock because your mama and your daddy let you do whatever you want to do with the gentle parenting stuff. You're supposed to be up getting ready for school. Oh, mom, I don't feel like it. It's just a hard day. Yesterday was so hard on me. I want to stay in the bed a little longer. I don't understand. Why can't you just take me to school? Why do I have to get up early to get to the bus? Like, you going to flip that on your parent? Instead of having a communication while you're doing all this talking, saying, Mom, hey, teaching your child that they can come to you. Mom, today was long. I had a really hard day. I want to know if I can get taken to school tomorrow because I want to sleep in.
Right.
Hashtag bring paddling back.
Hashtag bring paddling back.
Charlie Tune said, I don't know if she caught the right one because substitute teachers are tired and reactions led me to believe she's not much more advanced in her maturation. Yeah, that was couldn't do like this first boy. You put that cloth over.
All I saw was brown muffins. I just seen muffins. That's it. I said, whoa. Yeah, what is going on?
Some folks get gentle parenting fundamentals wrong.
They do all the time, all the way. Miss Angie
Bell.
Angie Bell, we still need to get our lunch together too, ma'am.
Angie is in agreement with you. Money. Old school parenting
works. These young folks will not handle life as an adult well, and it's all part of the plan.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah. And that goes, and if y'all just now joining us tonight and is getting a little bit past the time, or close to the time rather, we're talking about negativity. And it went from basically, what is real negative and how when you get in your older age, I'm not gonna say old age, older age, more mature age, certain things you don't let pass, to now what we're talking about as far as just with negativity and interaction with our young people and what they're getting from other sources and how it's, it's all part of the chain of events if we really think about it. And it's unfortunate that the young people are inheriting this, if it's easy to say. Angie Bell said no work ethic, morals, and they don't handle feedback well. They sure don't.
Yeah.
There used to be a time, y'all, when an adult could come and say something to you if you were doing something wrong, and you took it as though, hey, mama got me or daddy got somebody watching me. You can't even go to young people now and correct them on things without possible fear of retaliation from them or whatever. And I'm
what do they fear though, bro? Like, we had somebody watching us they got everybody watching them. They don't care.
Exactly. I'm like, everybody has the opportunity to be the ideal reporter as long as you got a smartphone in your hand. So everything is out there. But ironically enough, though, a lot of our young people are taking that negative type atmosphere and energy, and they're doing things that they know is wrong. And they know it, and they still are not afraid of filming it and posting it to TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, to garner, I guess, some sort of acceptance from people that don't even know them.
I had somebody who said, I am a Christian, proud of it, loud and bold. At my desk at work, I have Romans 12, chapter 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect.
Oh, good one.
Angie said, yes, indeed. I grew up in a community. I knew that my neighbors could alert my mom before I even made it home from outside. Bring back communities. Again, it's a cocktail. It's so many different layers and so many different variables that we grew up on that have been literally stripped. And I find it ironic and so amazing that it's stripped from our communities, meaning communities of people of color. We're not even practicing what we know works for our people. My mother used to always say, I can't tell them nothing, because the guys walked around looking just like somebody threw them dumped over a trash can. You can't make your son get a haircut. You can't make him look presentable. Like, he got to look like this all the time. Girl, you can't tell them nothing. No, you can't tell them nothing. And then as soon as they get in trouble and they got to go in front of a judge, he got a haircut, he got a suit on, or he got a dress shirt and some slacks, but you can do it now. Why couldn't you do it then? If you might have instilled in him that there are different things, different attire for different ways to present yourself for different activities and events, he might have been inspired to do something different.
Yeah, right. We got lazy with it. We fell asleep behind the wheel because I think it started off with our generation having children and not properly teaching them the way that they're supposed to be going out in this world. Now it's reverberating to their generation, and it's even worse. I don't know where and when we fell asleep behind the wheel, but it definitely requires some course correction.
Because we started drinking that Kool-Aid, bro.
Yeah.
We started drinking that Kool-Aid because we was finally middle class, and we started moving out of our neighborhoods, going down to the other people's neighborhoods, because they were selling you that pipe dream that, oh, you don't want to buy in there because you want to make sure you maintain your property value. And then as soon as they get ready to forget that they invited you into the neighborhood, they let you know that they don't want you in their neighborhood. Yeah, we dropped the ball because we became too successful. We didn't want our kids to know what it was like how we grew up. So we removed them from the neighborhoods, the school systems, the church, the intermingling. You up here taking your kids skiing. No, and doggone well, you ain't never been skiing, but because your neighbors is going skiing, and I'm all for exposure, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But do you bring them back to the pool? We got to the point where we even stopped going over our family members' house like we used to. Your son and your daughter know about sushi, but they don't know about no fried chicken and potato salad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh look.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Cartoon said it too. Go ahead and read, man.
Oh, so Charlie says our youth is losing out on understanding the child's place like we had. We knew our place, and we were allowed to earn our respect and freedoms based on our understanding of our place versus being grown. True. ...
Oh,
Appreciate
thank you.
Who knows what a child? Who knows? Oh, let's not talk about it, honey. About the cooking and the non-cooking and the. I'm amazed of the family, and again, the black families. I know this sounds, I guess prejudice, whatever. I don't care. I'm amazed at the black families that's like doing all these box meal prep services. Like what? Like all the stuff coming to the like you got families, not hey, I'm a single person. This is easier than grocery shopping or whatever. You got kids and you got stuff coming in boxes that's meal prepped. Not I want to try a authentic Brazilian dinner. I want to try an authentic Greek dinner. So I'm getting the stuff already prepped so I can make it. This is what they're doing. And I'm not trying to slam anybody who's taking these services, but all I'm saying is, what are you doing with that? Is it so automated that it's coming to the house? Are you having family dinner together once you're getting this box and you're prepping this meal and is your family eating together? It sounds old school and it probably sounds real corny, but this is something that some white therapist is making hundreds of dollars off of because they're like, you need to try to practice eating together. When did that even become something that you didn't know what to do?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We were just, and it's funny, we were just talking about that, Renee and I. We were saying like how we miss our family dinners in which, everybody would pick a house and they go there once a month and everybody would eat, and then you chip in on the cutlery and silverware and all this other stuff and prepare. And everybody's on the phone, everybody's emailing, everybody's getting the menu together. Hey, girl, no, so-and-so, she do them greens. Don't nobody touch them greens because she do them greens. Stay in your lane. She got them greens. So it's that village concept. And it's interesting you mentioned that because I think, we have missed that village concept. And by us missing the village concept, we've allowed, unfortunately, our children to start going to school and they're inheriting a negative, we're back on the negativity, a negative village concept, which permeated from watching guys in prison with their pants hanging down and not understanding the history behind that. And then from there, that culture took over. And then from that culture taking over to seeing individuals be negative to each other, can talk any kind of way to adults, and therefore saying, hey, the line that used to be right there in which you respected your adults is now gone. We're going to erase that. And I can talk to you any way I want. I can walk out of this class when I want to. I can follow up on you on the street. And as you coming down, I can sucker punch you and knock you to the ground and put you in a coma. It's all these things. And it's unfortunate because at home is where it should have started.
Yeah. And how can you,
negativity.
Absolutely. How can you expect these children to be productive citizens in this world acting out like that? They can't. They won't.
They won't. Because they're not getting it at home. Mm-hmm. I was just telling Renee the other day. Oh, well, let me read this real quick. She said, Angie said, do y'all remember when we went to church and they have a thing to play with or entertain but the program of your cousins? These kids can't sit still unentertained for more than 10 minutes.
Yep. Because they got them like this. You don't even let your child practice self-soothing. I've seen parents, as soon as they come in a restaurant, they put that child in that high chair, they pulling out a tablet, putting it on Peppa Pig or YouTube. You ain't even sitting here so your child can experience the restaurant, experience the dinner. What are we doing?
Yeah. Not putting those parameters around those children or giving them those instructions. Charlie said that why I love being home, my behind was fed, well spent in time with few generations in my family. I love it, and home again at least once by June. See, there you go. She agrees with you. She said, yes, ma'am. You got a name, man. She said, y'all about to get me running in here. It's the truth, though. I mean, it's funny because you can see that, again, we live in the microwave society. And if you don't understand what that means everything has to be instant, quick, and right there in front of your hands. We have gone away from teaching our children patience. We've taught them now more of activity and that their mind has to constantly be moving. it's crazy when you can put a smartphone in the hand of a 1-year-old, and that 1-year-old can immediately go to YouTube, swipe to the video they want to watch, and sit there and be entertained.
And decline your calls.
Or even get on there and know how to get on Facebook and do their own live. Without asking permission from any parent or whatever sort, and you turn around and you wonder why your battery is low.
Yeah, it's a shame how we done set these kids up like that. Oh, and one other thing. If I see another team giving out a participation trophy for everybody.
Woo! I hate it. I do not like it. I'm old school. I'm sorry. Y'all can hate me all you want to. You can talk about me all you want to. We were raised in winners and losers. You are a loser. Try again next year. I hate participation awards.
Hey, Money, I was thinking about that because I remember how you a baller. Back in the day when we played for rec league, or you played for the high school or the junior high, or whatever sort, there were winners and there were losers.
Yeah.
And losers learn. That was a learning experience from them.
Absolutely.
You learn. But if you know that you're gonna get on a team and at the end of it you're gonna get something to put on your shelf, you're not even wanting to give 110%.
Oh.
So somewhere along the line we missed the mark.
Do that.
Exactly.
I'm still gonna get something.
I'm gonna get this. I get to walk and I'm gonna get me. I mean, it's different when you're like my grandbaby. She's taking gymnastics, right? Okay, so she got a participation certificate because this is her first year. She's learning, and they gave her that because you are learning the basics. So they want you to be. But I'm gonna tell you something. If I'm out there and I'm playing football, and you gonna give me a trophy, and I'm 0-22, and I get a trophy.
How did they do it? How did they do it back in the day, guys? Okay, babies 5 and under, you need to encourage them to do something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What did they do? Listen, this is your schedule. This is who you play. The winners got the championship. They got the big. Okay. Then they did a all-inclusive league district for everybody who played on the teams, and you had like a big cookout, or you had like a dance, or you had like a pizza party or something like that. So we are going to acknowledge you that you played this year. We're going to acknowledge that you were a great athlete. You had a great attitude. That's what you need to do. This whole, well, you lost, but here's an award, here's a certificate, here's an acknowledgement, here's this. Oh, we want to make sure that you don't feel bad. That's part of growing and hunger. That's part of growing determination. That's part of making that somebody have a characteristic to say, okay, listen, I want to win.
Yeah.
It grows assertiveness. Like, I don't get it. Yeah.
She said, why I quit being team coach and mom. That's why we won't have another micro Kobe. Yeah. And I want to share this with y'all. I got to brag about my youngest son. Well, all three of my sons, they were in sports and stuff. But my youngest one, this guy, it was interesting because with Kieran played football. He ran track, and I'm not just talking about like he did cross country, and he did Olympics, like indoor Olympics and stuff. So imagine this: you're playing football. And then you're immediately going into cross country, and then you're immediately going into spring and summer track, and then you're going into football again. So he was constantly involved. So one time we went to practice with him one time, football practice, and he had finished cross country, went to football practice, full gear on, and was out there running because they had him run the field and stuff. And he was lapping these guys as they were running the field. I'm listening to parents who said they were letting their sons during the summertime go out there, barbecue, make Kool-Aid, do all kinds of stuff. They weren't preparing themselves at all. So when football season came, they were ill prepared. They were not ready physically, mentally, whatever the case may be. And you got this kid that is lapping them after he just got out of cross country. Now, let me make this disclaimer. We did not force our son to do it. He wanted to do it, which allowed him to win the Super Bowl down in Florida, and also qualify for the Olympics in Michigan, where there was a lot of traveling.
Mhm.
But I say that to say this is that he knew that in anything you want to do, you got to give 110%. And if you lose, you learn from that, you go on to the next thing. Some parents didn't want to do that. Some parents want to be all laid back and, oh, it'll be all right, and blah, blah, blah. You are ill preparing your child for adult life.
It's teaching you to be humble, bro. Like,
Yes.
there's always somebody going to be better than you. So
Right.
you need to make sure that you're the best that you can be while you can be it. But it's not for you to look at that person and say, oh, they're better than me and hate them. It's like, yo, okay, you passing the torch, because there's going to always be somebody better than you.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you learn from that. And we as parents, we need to be able to instill that in our child, to be able to tell them, look, I'm sorry you lost. It's going to be all right. What can we do to be better next year? What can I do to help you? Hey, let's do this and stuff. Start sowing that positive energy into these young people, so therefore they can be prepared for the next
even
event.
if it's something that you want to do. Is it something that you want to do?
Right. Exactly. If you don't want to do it, hey, we understand. And ironically enough, the negative stuff, after my son won the Super Bowl down in Florida, he quit football because of the coach being so negative. And I'll be honest with you, he was just running his certain ethnic players, trying to run them to death and such, and not realizing that this is an opportunity for you to teach them life skills that will carry them throughout, elementary, junior high, college, and things of that nature. So, sometimes some of these adults, they have a tendency to put negative aspirations on children because they're trying to succeed. And we have to be careful with it. They're very impressionable. They can be molded the correct way, or they can be molded the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Charlatan.
I could see the grit and talent in track and field and hockey. Few honorable mentions in those sports, in my opinion. Hell, chess and fencing, cheerleading and dance. I need to see the effort for the medals earned. Yeah.
True that.
Absolutely.
True that.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I have a niece. My niece Kaden. She's amazing when it comes to dance. And her mom was a cheerleader, and she was heavy into dance as well. But I love their dynamic together because when she talks to her daughter, she actually sows positive seed into her, and she lets her know, it's like, hey, even though I did it, this is your road that you have to travel. Now, if you really want to do this, you do realize you've got to be on time to these events, okay? You've got to put in your practice. You're expected to get your homework done on time and be able to turn it in and everything. So she sets those parameters for her daughter, and she doesn't force her to do it, but she gives her good parameters and instruction on how and why we are doing this. She doesn't say why you're doing this, why we're doing this, because this is a road we both are taking. Because she's a parent, and she's also, she has the history behind it. A lot of parents, I hate to say it, I've seen a lot of parents when it comes to football and track, because we had our boys going to all of those and we were involved in them. Some parents just drop the kids off. So how can a child get a positive reinforcement if you just dropping them off? Now I can understand if you got to work.
You don't know what's going on.
But you don't even know. Your child look up at the stands, you're nowhere around.
You're not at games, you're not at practices, you're not working with them on, outside of work. I mean, it's not there. I've had, both of my daughters are grown now, but when they were in school, if it was something I didn't know about, I looked it up. If it was something that I did know about, I still looked up to see how can I assist them, from track to softball to majorette, from rugby to math competitions. I mean, all of these things require a parent to be involved. And this is the part where I feel parenting has gotten twisted. When your child is young, you just want to be engaged. You give them a phone, you make sure they can catch an Uber or they can get dropped off and picked up. And then when they become grown, where you need to be engaged and not involved. Now you all involved in their life. You doing this, you doing that, because you know what? You didn't prepare them how to think. You didn't prepare them to be an adult, to have real life conversations, to say, okay, let me start sparking critical thinking. So now you have to be involved with your adult child when you should have been involved with them as a small child.
Mhm.
And then you could be engaged as an adult parent, a parent of an adult. And this is why, because like you said, you guys both have taken a role of mentorship and coaching young guys. You've seen those parents, you've seen that mom, you've seen that dad, or they're like super, super involved for one practice and one part of one game, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Isn't a consistency. There's no consistency.
Yeah. And the only time you really see them consistent is if they do come to the game and then all of a sudden they see Jamel sitting down there and Jamel is not getting in and they want to be upset with the coach, the referee, or whoever, as far as he or she not getting a chance to play. And it's like, well, this is the reason why. That's why they say sports are developmental. It allows the child to understand not only the physical acumen, but the mental, and also being able to coexist and coordinate with other individuals, their peers. All those things are the things that they're supposed to learn, and it walks them into other avenues of their life. So if you got a child that doesn't want to participate, just want to sit over there and just, be on their phone and stuff, but you're expecting them to be able to play 4 quarters or whatever it is, you're doing them a disservice by not teaching them everything that we're talking about, y'all. Starts at home.
Start at home. Start at home. That classroom, that organizational football or sports is to reflect what your child is bringing to that table. It should reflect your house. Your house should not reflect them. Your school, your sports, church, whatever the case that they're in as an extracurriculum activity should reflect what they are getting at home already. I told parents, we're a sports team, not a daycare. You watch your kids, I coach.
I know that's right.
I almost fought a dad for charging at my brother for not putting a child in. Nope. Don't come game day when your child ain't been to practice all week. No. Right.
Exactly. Consequences, repercussions.
Still a learning experience. I know we getting near that time, but man, the topic was about how do you handle negativity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to be petty real quick.
Put the petty dance on. Hey, get the petty dance on.
But it was funny. I had saw that Eli, a good friend of ours, he had posted a meme, and it was of oh gosh, what's my boy name? Pee Wee Herman.
Okay.
And it was his little tight suits and everything. And it stated that we used to laugh at Pee Wee Herman for wearing this type of suits. And now our children are going to the prom.
Yep.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Oh, man, I got to find that one.
Yeah.
The irony.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing new under the sun. It's just always about where you live. I feel like if you're respectful, and again, this is my maturing and coming into my own, I'm learning to be more respectful.
Yeah.
Being more respectful, being more open to other people's life.
Yeah.
And their choices and their decisions. You got to respect it, whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tight though, but yeah, I respect it.
It's tight. It's tight.
Super tight. But
super
I respect
tight.
it. How do you breathe is so tight, but I respect it.
Gotcha. Honey. I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Who does that? Who? I mean, yeah. And I mean, from being 90s kids where you had, a dude that was a size 32, but he bought a size 36, 38 pant because, I get it. that there's an adjustment to fashion. But at the same time, we can go back further before Pee Wee Herman and look at, Frankie Lyman, look at some of those, singers. They had the same kind of cut, the same suit, style. So, there's nothing new under the sun. It's about your preference. And
that's a tight preference, though.
They said it's a tight preference.
I mean, if you like mediums, it's all good. Ain't nothing wrong with a medium every now and then.
Charlie Two said, I don't have to respect it, but they ain't earn it. I do have to let you travel your journey. Amen to that.
True that.
Amen to that. Here's the thing, and y'all, we want to thank y'all for joining us tonight on After Roundtable. This was pretty dope, and your comments and everything was amazing. Thank you for sharing it. It is pretty cool when people are allowing us to do these type of things. I just got that. Here's the thing, I love it, A-Money, when you said somewhere along the line we dropped the ball, and just kind of going back to the positivity and negativity thing. Family, even though we see these kids, and it's now falling on the kids, but it can also fall on some of the adults as well, with the clothing and the way they're acting and things of that nature. Somewhere along the line, somebody still has to step out on faith and step out there and teach them. So like, say, for example, kids that are running around here with the pants hanging down and such, maybe just that one person can pull that child to the side and say, hey, let me teach you how to tie a tie. Tie a tie. Whether you realize it or not, you're preparing that young person to get ready for that job interview. You want them to be their best, to have the opportunity that sometimes they are not allowed because of color of skin, because of where they live at, because of social levels and economics, whatever the case may be. Those are, or the young lady who a Melissa or Miss T or Miss Renee or whatever can pull them to the side and say, I know this is not what you're going to wear to the job interview, to the church, to whatever. Baby, let me take a little time and let me or hey, maybe step their game up and talk to Miss Biddle and she get them fashionably styled. Whatever the case may be, it's the opportunity to say, hey, we understand fad, but let us drop a little reality on you. And
clothes for every occasion. You can't wear the same thing. For me, the biggest struggle, and my kids will probably be mad, but I'm sorry, this is the truth. The biggest struggle for me with my daughters is the proper undergarments. Because I know you're 20 or 20 something, but you have to dress for your body type. And what somebody did and you saw on TV or you saw in a picture don't necessarily mean that that's going to work for you, because I don't care what you say, as you become older, as a young woman, things that you used to get a slide against or things that nobody really paid attention to because you were still in high school, sweetie, now that you're a grown woman, you graduating, there's things that's going to be expected of you. You need to have some type of an undergarment on. You need to have some type of a brassiere on. You need to have something on that's going to make sure that you're not just looking like you walking around your house. You are out in public. Young men, I don't even think that there's young men that know about, I call them wife beaters, but undershirts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, They don't know. They don't know that, hey, there's different types of socks you wear when you have this type of pant on versus having on jeans. Or, I mean, like, there's so much that needs to be given to our people. And I'm sorry, there's people that's out here doing TikToks and so it's out there. But I mean, why does your child have to go to social media or the internet or Google when you living right there in the house with them?
Yeah. Amen to that. You preaching right there, sis. And Charlie Two said it best. She said, feed a mind, change your heart, and watch your world grow.
Yep.
Hey, they're gonna have another t-shirt, y'all.
That's it.
For sure.
Love you too, sis.
We love you too,
Right
Charlie.
back at you.
Love you
Right
too.
back at you.
We love you too. Well, family, it's that time. We have went overtime, but you know what? Hopefully, this will reach somebody's heart, reach somebody, and just change their whole dynamic. Again, the topic was negativity. How do you handle it? But it, of course, when you're on that Roundtable Podcast show, we like a tree. We got many branches. So get a chance, share the show, tell your mom and them about it, and we will see y'all not next weekend, but the week afterwards. We'll be live and direct with y'all. Oh, there she go. Reach one, teach one.
For sure.
For sure.
All it takes is one. All it takes is one.
Yes, indeed.
Do one. Quit trying to reach the masses at this point because it's failing. Let's just concentrate on one.
Yeah.
That's it. Ain't that ironic though? Everybody want to be on TikTok and social media and get thousands, get clicks. But if you just reach one, Mel done did it. She done did it again, y'all. Let us get out here before we get down another rabbit hole, like Charlie 2 said. So, thank y'all for joining us. We love y'all. Peace.